Welcome to Collie Greens and Nerdy Things, your one stop shop for all things nerdy. I'm King, and that's my partner in crime, JC3. And this week, we're talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 8. So let's kick it off. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Oh boy, my thoughts. Ah man, sir, this is a show that just keeps on giving and giving and giving. I thought that this episode was amazing, just because we get the uh, Daredevil versus Fisk, and also versus Bullseye. We done brung this crazy psycho back, who we originally threw off a roof, and he's still alive. Uh, but no, like I like the episode was fantastic. I love the fact that this episode and just the whole show in general again shows that even when Matt is not in the Daredevil suit, he's a blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen, he's still very much Daredevil. Whether he's in the suit or not, he's doing Daredevil things. I love that. I love seeing his relationship with Heather slowly break down as we're seeing Fisk's relationship with Vanessa slowly start to come together, and it pretty much does come together by the end of this episode, or actually in the middle. Uh, and just seeing the dynamic between Matt and Poindexter, aka Bullseye, with that interrogation scene, man, like that personally gave me Dark Knight vibes. I feel like Matt might as well have been Batman, just slamming Poindexter's head on the table. You know what I mean? Like he was Joker. Like you never start with the head; it gets all fuzzy. Sorry, but yeah, like that was awesome. And of course, the way our boy Bullseye breaks out of his situation. Uh, but that in itself was nuts. Very very comic booky, but awesome at the same time. And then just that tense scene at Fisk's get together with all the higher ups, and we just see him attaining all this power, and Matt doing what he can to try to stop it. So the episode was thrilling. It was tense. It ended off in a crazy way, perfect way, in my opinion, for the penultimate episode of this season. And it had me invested from beginning to end, man. Straight up, I loved this episode. What'd you think?
Man, you brought up so many good little tidbits that happened throughout the show. I want to first kind of jump to the thing you said where it felt like Matt was Batman. And we've been talking about this for a while. And it seems like New York City is also kind of like Gotham. You know what I mean? There is so many really good parallels to Matt and Batman and New York right now and Gotham. So I think that's right on. Matt kind of did have more of a Batman moment where he was willing to, injure the person he was interrogating to try to get the answers he wanted. And I thought it was really interesting to see Vanessa and Fisk finally come to the same accord. And getting there, was insane. They finally confronted Adam together, you know what I mean? And she realized that Fisk had him still hemmed up and locked up. And I think they realized, and at least Vanessa realized in that moment, that there was no other option. She had to kill him. And she did. And they kind of had this awkwardly sweet tender moment together after they just previously unalived the dude behind them. So I found that interesting. And Matt and his girl's relationship, you said Heather, they're really getting torn apart at this moment because she's got a problem with vigilantes and Matt has a big secret. He's a vigilante. So they're right now at odds, and I don't know if they can reconcile. And his interaction in that prison with Poindexter, it was crazy that once Poindexter got put into General Pop by Fisk, where everybody would want to kill him and he would be up there. He wants to talk to Matt immediately, but he wants something for his help, and Matt's not willing to help him. He killed his friend. And as he tried to get that information, Matt realized something very important, that maybe Fisk was not the one who had Foggy killed. What'd you think, man?
Oh my god, just that again, that whole scene that he had with Dexter was like absolutely amazing because you see you could feel and see the disdain on Matt's face just being in the same room with this guy again, like wants nothing to do with him, like even playing with him, like, oh, like, oh, you want me to do something for you? Oh, you want to peel? What do you want? Like he doesn't care what this guy wants, but secretly what Bullseye is trying to do is he's just egging him on. He wants him to get physical. He wants him to retaliate, and Matt gives him Matt gives him what he wants, slams his head on that desk, I think maybe 3 times. I love how, after he did that, he called the guard in and said, hey, prisoner, hit his head on the table. Like that's just that classic, Matt Murdock swag that he has. But in the end, we know, where that ended up leading to, where Bullseye is getting treated by the doctor, and yeah, we see our guy, do something with his mouth. Initially, I thought that he was just cracking his neck, but then we come to find out that this guy just busted his whole tooth inside his mouth so he could shoot the tooth right into the eye of the doctor that's helping him. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any more comic booky than that. Okay, but we go along with it. We go along with it, and then it shows that again, he's named Bullseye for a reason. He can kill you with any object that he gets his hands on. And I think he took apart some scissors and threw them at both the other nurses or doctors that were in there, and it was a wrap, dude. And I also love how when he gets in his Bullseye like mode, when he gets into that mindset, the screen just goes blue, like fades into a dark blue, just so we can understand his psyche in a way. I found that very interesting. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love that blue tint that they're using to kind of show when Bullseye kind of gets in his psychosis. You know what I mean? When he's getting angry or we're having a real Bullseye moment, everything gets blue. And when he's on screen, he's in blue, and his, outfit, uniform is also a darker shade of blue. And I thought that scene where, he was escaping and he, spit that tooth at the dude was dope. It was a crazy good scene that is like classic Daredevil, Punisher, and I mean, it couldn't get more classic Marvel than that. And that's actually comes from the comics in I believe, a Matt Fraction run. So it's also very comic accurate that, like you said, Bullseye don't miss ever. Him and Hawkeye are the two dudes that when they aim, they hit something and it's on purpose. They don't miss. One little thing that I thought was really cool was we got to see BB, the reporter, kind of in action, and we started to learn some new things about her. That yeah, she does the BB News, and she does do that. And Fisk likes her to kind of report the things that he likes, but on the other hand, she has other pseudonyms and other names that she uses to put out the truth. And I thought that was interesting to see that she actually has some backbone about her, and she's doing the real work of journalism and criminal justice. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was awesome as well. Like I liked seeing that because she's trying to get answers, right? She's trying to play good with her friend, who's Fisk's right hand man now at this point. I think he promoted him, uh
Deputy
something like
Mayor.
community, like mayor, like community. Yeah, yeah. Like he's like the main person of communications, and he's like, oh wow, I get to do this. So she's trying to make good with that guy, while at the same time trying to get like the real answers on this, because she secretly doesn't. She really doesn't trust him either, And she also gets a hint from one of the police chiefs that's against Mayor Fisk about her uncle's death, and we kind of get that tie in and that revelation to where she's like, I'm not, just in this just to be goody goody. Like I'm trying to get the dirt on this. So like she's like, let me give you my card, in case you want to tell me anything else. So it's good to see that she's not completely, or if at all, falling for Fisk's good intentions. Like she knows that there's really something else that's going down.
Absolutely, man. And there was another point earlier in the season. Fisk had went to that gala to try to get funding for that project that he just got approved. Often, I think it was Red Hook. Uh,
Yeah,
and and it was crazy to see that gala come back together again, and all of those high society people who were kind of against him in the beginning really having to kiss up to him because they're realizing, his strength and power. And we get another conversation with the guy who was in Echo, or in Hawkeye, excuse me, in Hawkeye. And they go into a side room, and of course, Matt can hear them from in the middle of the ball, but they have a conversation, and Fisk flat out tells him, "You are the swordsman. You know your reputation precedes you." And it was the first time that we've seen someone on the outside acknowledge that. We've seen him in a couple scenes fighting off. It was more of fill-in shots or B-roll for the BB report, but I thought that was interesting. And I wanted to bring up something that I thought was kind of crazy that we didn't discuss in person, and it was the Fisk's cop unit in the back with that other reporter guy when they stuck that man's hand in the fryer. What did you think of that?
Ooh, what he say? You're not gonna be able to wipe your butt, after we do this. Like, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gonna have trouble doing that, for a minute. But I thought that was insane. That just shows that this task force that Fizz has is just completely the wrong mood. It's the wrong move. Sorry, it's not really for the community or the city. It's for Fisk and his agenda. Also, these guys, being the ones that are wearing that Punisher logo, it's just giving Frank a bad name. It really makes me hope that we get one more cameo from Frank, the Punisher, just to see him, just to show, that he's bothered by the fact that these cops are doing this in his name. Just because they're completely corrupt. Like he told that chief, he's like, in case you haven't noticed, I don't work for you. And from there, honestly, it's only going to get worse. So I hope that Punisher does show up just to clock these fools and get some punishing done at some point.
Well, I believe that he will. I believe that he will be in that final finale, and that's going to be great. And I mean, all that's really left in the show after this is, Matt's really intensely trying to get to Fisk. He showed up to the ball, meets with his girlfriend, and once he gets close enough, they're Fisk and Vanessa are dancing in this spotlighted moment, and uh, Matt grabs Heather and he gets out there, bumps into him on purpose so that he can dance with Vanessa, and then drops to Vanessa that he knows that she is the one who hired Bullseye to kill Foggy.
Yes, that what like that revelation. It's shocking for sure. It also raises questions as to why. We know one part of it because he also discovered that Foggy knew that he was going to win his case when he had went to their bar for that, when they were all together at the bar for that drink. Also, it was nice to see him go back to that bar after all that time and just to see the owner contemplate reopening it, but she doesn't know if the people of the city really want that based off of what happened. uh, so that was a nice little callback to what happened before. But we do have an answer. It was because of the case, but we just don't know what the case entailed, what the case was. So I hope that we get more insight on that in the finale. We also saw while he's revealing this to Vanessa, Vanessa is also revealing to him, like, hey, be careful. Hey, you remember, be careful because does your lady know that you're Daredevil? Vanessa is just as ruthless. That's Fisk. She just capped her due 4 times, for this man. So she's just as bad as he is. Um, and all the while, I also loved that while Matt is dancing with Vanessa, you have Fisk with Heather, and he's even this close to letting her know, like that Matt is Daredevil. So like this whole scene is just tense. The moment that Matt interjected and I started dancing with Vanessa, I was just on pins and needles, man. It was crazy. And then while they're having this conversation, we see that our crazy guy Bullseye, is at this ball at the gala, and he's fixing to shoot someone. He's fixing to end someone right now. I initially thought that he was going to go for Vanessa because Vanessa was the only one at that party that was wearing all red, and and sometimes that's kind of a little bit of a giveaway.
Me too.
But we come to find, right, but we come to find out that he's not aiming for Vanessa. He's aiming for Fisk. And also, one more thing I got to mention. I love that while Matt is trying to listen out for everything, the format of the show, it just it goes from widescreen to full screen as he's listening in. Kind of, again, another call back to the season premiere right before Bullseye was about to lay waste to everybody in that bar. So that was cool to see. That was awesome. But then we get another shocker on top of the shocker that we already got with Vanessa being the one that ordered Foggy's death. Matt does the unthinkable, and this man takes a bullet for Fisk. Man, I stood up. I was on my feet. I'm like, Matt, what you doing? I get it a little bit, but what you doing? But what you think, King?
Man, I was also surprised, dude. I also thought that he was either going to go for somebody else, maybe Vanessa, maybe uh maybe Matt himself. I wasn't sure what he was going to do, even though we know he has a long-standing beef with Fisk. But man, when he shot that bullet and Matt dove in the way, I was shocked. We're at the apex of a story. So to see your titular character get wounded and almost die, man, leaves us on one heck of a cliffhanger. And that's what I'm going to do to the audience right now. That's the end of the show, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Get down in those comments and tell us what were the most surprising moments for you. And maybe we got something wrong or we missed something. Please let us know your thoughts. And we always appreciate you coming to hang out with us. So for Collard Greens and Nerdy Things, I'm King, and that's JC3. And tell him, my brother.
Uh, I'll leave you guys with this. Make sure you take care of your teeth. You should not be able to dislodge any part of your tooth to spit at anybody. Don't be unsanitary like that. Brush your chompers, take care of them. All right. But other than that, that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for the support. Appreciate you. And stay nerdy, my friends.